Shalom. Kahalo Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai Bashem Kakadash. Double honors to the elder apostles of GMS, including the elders that came before them, taught us his truth. And shalom and salutations to all the brothers out pushing the word of truth and in sincerity. The hopeful elect tabernacle of David. The brother Yahshua back with a quick lesson. All right. Going into the collapse of society, if you will. All right. We've reached the point of no return, which is the Rubicon. All right. We crossed the Rubicon. All right. So let's bring this out and have a look. And for those of you that haven't repented, acknowledged your offense, and prayed for forgiveness yet, you're still out there. So this should show you that it's high time that you wake the hell up out of sleep. You got 2 more seconds before this thing reaches here, and then it's going to be too late. All right, so with that, 2 Ezra 15, and let's go to 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. All right, so we're about to go around the world to where this shit is going down. That's coming here. For the sword in their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. Now, the modern day sword is the gun. The modern day sword is the missile. Okay, a fighting instrument. All right, a knife, a gun, a bow. All right, these are weapons of war. So they're warring on the streets. Okay, they're fighting each other at home, in the city. Okay, for there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. All right, sedition. It's going down right now. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and they're taking down the police, the National Guard. And the course of their action shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. They're locking it down over there. Okay? They got the Spetsnaz coming in, who are the elite Russian fighting forces, the military. They had to call them in down there in Kazakhstan because there's lawlessness and shit that spiraled out of control. All right? For because of their pride, the cities shall be troubled. We're going to watch that. All right? Today, what's going on today? The houses shall be destroyed and men shall be afraid. All right? And you know, if the city is in turmoil and chaos, the first thing you got to do, you got to eat, you got to have water. So where are you going? You're going to a grocery store and you're going to grab what the hell you want and walk up out of there. It's called looting. All right? And then after that, if the city still hasn't come under lockdown or under some sort of control, what do you got? 5 days of food in the house? And this is like the 5th day? What's this, the 7th? It started on the 1st. If this is the 7th, all right, people are like, hey, we ain't got no food. We got to go next door. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their house with the sword. You're going to walk up in there with a gun, all right, and spoil their goods, steal their food. Why? Because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. We're in the time of great tribulation and judgment. All right? Now let's watch it. Okay, so this is ABC News, January 7th, which is today. This is like 2 hours ago. Okay? Let's look at that. All right, where is that ABC today? ABC News, right here. 2 hours ago, violence erupts in Kazakhstan as Russian-backed troops move in. All right, they had to call Vladimir and say, hey, you got to stop this. These niggas is out of control. All right, 1 day ago, Kazakhstan security forces kill dozens of protesters as Russia sends in troops. Today, hey, they're moving in. 2 hours ago, 3 hours ago, 4 hours ago. Let's find out. Let's start with this one. Let's go on a commercial. God damn it. Slovakia. Boom.
We're going to go overseas to Kazakhstan, where there was heavy shooting overnight as mass protests against the authoritarian regime sweep the country. Russian troops have now moved in to support the regime.
Woo! All right. They are not regarding their kings nor princes. They in there. It says, deadly crackdown in Kazakhstan. Heavy shooting reported. Russian troops arrive. What's going on right now? Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is turning up. That's what we see. And Vladimir is going in to reclaim his provinces and set them straight. Most High is putting hooks in their jaws.
And our senior foreign correspondent Ian Pannell is tracking this rapidly developing story. Good morning, Ian.
Yeah, good morning, George. That's right. Kazakhstan, the ninth largest country in the world, a major oil-producing nation, but right now it's in turmoil. America and other countries urging a peaceful settlement, but on the ground, the opposite is happening, with the country's president now warning his troops will shoot to kill protesters without warning.
Shoot to kill. There's a shoot to kill. Ain't no rubber bullets. Ain't no gas. This is martial law, buddy. Get your ass in the house. Stop looting. Stop shooting. These motherfuckers got nothing to lose. Excuse my language.
Overnight, more violence and deadly clashes between anti-government protesters and security forces in Kazakhstan. The authoritarian regime using live fire.
Live fire. You see them? It's going down. It's a straight insurrection. All right? Sedition.
As have some protesters. At least 25 demonstrators and 18 service personnel killed. This morning, the country's president saying he gave orders to use lethal force to what he claims are terrorists. This BBC reporter capturing the intensity of the gun battles overnight. Most of the violence taking place in the Central Asian country's largest city, Almaty. What began as peaceful protests over a doubling in gas prices rapidly escalating. Anti-government protesters setting the mayor's office ablaze. The presidential residence.
Sedition.
Also attacked, burned out vehicles, shattered windows and fire damage, a testament to the ferocity of the clashes. Now, Russian airborne units on the ground after a plea for help from Kazakhstan's president. Other ex-Soviet nations also sending troops amid fears the death toll will rise.
This is serious.
So the Kazakh government is claiming the situation is stabilizing despite the heavy clashes. But this is a real dilemma, I think, for the Biden administration for US foreign policy. Their response has been fairly muted. In the wake of the Capitol Hill insurrection anniversary, do you support protesters even though some of them are using violence? Or do you stand to one side and allow strongmen like Vladimir Putin to use force to put down legitimate calls for political change? Cecilia?
They're facing some big questions. Okay, Ian, thank you.
And here comes the hypocrisy. All right? This just happened last year, yesterday, right here in the good old United Snakes. But now we got something to say about what's going on over there. Let's look up this word. Sedition. Conduct or speech inciting people to rebel against the authority of a state or monarch. Okay? Conduct or speech inciting people to rebel against the authority of a state or monarch. Is that what we see? Is that what we see here? For there shall, where is it? Right here. 2 Ezra 15 and 16. For there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes. Didn't they just have this dude? Where is he? Where's this dude at? That right there, the king. That's the king of Kazakhstan. Or the one they stood up in the king's place. All right? They're not regarding their kings nor princes. This is sedition, clearly. Let's watch another one. All right. So the prophecies are jumping off the page. The point being made. All right. 3 hours ago. Let's watch this one. It's 52 seconds. Okay. Ooh, look at that. Here we go. Slovakia for the commercial. Bear with me. Here we go.
Let's get to your headlines here at 7:30. We're going to begin with the violent unrest in Kazakhstan.
The violent unrest. Okay. Do you think that's not coming to Babylon the Great? It definitely is. All right. These people want to fight too. They're mad. All right. The Trumpers are ready. They don't see their boy coming back. They're mad at him. They're burning MAGA hats. Okay. They're mad.
That country's president saying this morning
They shall not regard their kings nor princes. Violent unrest. Today. This is going down today.
authorized law enforcement to open fire without warning.
Live ball ammunition. Full metal jacket. Okay? No rubber bullets.
The order comes after days of deadly protests in the former Soviet nation that initially started over a spike in gas prices. Kazakhstan's president blamed the unrest on terrorists and militants and warned that demonstrators, they would be destroyed in the event of further disturbances.
Terrorists. Now, if you don't know, okay, George Soros paid a little mercenary army to go out there and cause destabilization. All right? And Vladimir knows this. Vladimir's like this. Okay, all right. We got that same shit. Right? Who are they going to call when unrest breaks out in America? Who are they going to call? Are they going to call the National Guard? No. They got to call the Russians. They got to call somebody who don't speak the language. It's going to be the Chinese. It's going to be the Spetsnaz.
The protesters and police officers have been killed since those protests began last Sunday.
Last Sunday, that would have been the 2nd. Okay.
Hey!
All right, enough of that. That was the 52-second one. Let's watch one more and then we'll get a couple of precepts and we'll go ahead and close. The point has been made. All right, gunfire heard at the scene of Kazakhstan protests. They're shooting each other. All right. It says, deadly protests in Kazakhstan's largest city, Almaty, have left scenes of devastation and reports of gunfire. 4 hours ago, BBC News. Gunfire heard at the scene of Kazakhstan protests. Of course, the commercial.
Some took place here at the former presidential residence.
Let's watch this.
Some of the biggest clashes took place here at the former presidential residence and the mayor's office.
Okay, right there. Right there. They shall not regard their kings nor princes. They went to his house and burned the nigga out. Watch that again. It's coming right off the pages of the Bible. All right. President says there will be no negotiations with armed bandits, marauders out there. Again, what if it's that bad out there? Okay, what's going on with the women right now? Where are the women at? Are they hunkered down? Are they looking for somebody to protect them? They don't have a chance.
Some of the biggest clashes took place here at the former presidential residence and the mayor's office.
And the mayor's office. Former presidential residence and the mayor's office.
Some of the biggest clashes took place here at the former presidential residence and the mayor's office. The buildings were burned down, and you can see here all these cars were also set on fire. And it's the fire. You can hear again the shot, but maybe it's the military and police officers are firing into the air to warn people not to approach the square, because they closed the square in order to prevent people from gathering.
And now, what you just see right there, now the martial law. Nigga, if you're on the street, you'll get shot. That's Walmart, baby.
People not to approach the square because they closed the square in order to prevent people from.
President Tokayev has thanked President Putin. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, Putin, for swifter action and help. You see this? It's going down.
Gathering. It's still not clear who those people who clashed with police forces are.
Yeah, it is. All right. They were paid by George Soros. The police were paid to stand down. They're getting more money from Soros than they're getting from the government. All right. I'm gonna let it play. Nigga, let it play. I'm gonna let it play right
The
now.
far, you can hear again the shot, but maybe it's the military and police officers are firing into the air to warn people not to approach the square because they closed the square in order to prevent people from gathering. It's still not clear who those people who clashed with police forces are. Protesters say that their movement is peaceful and it was the authorities who provoked the violence. But many people now hope that the order can be restored very quickly. We haven't seen any signs of protests taking place in Almaty today, but we cannot say that it's quiet because we heard shooting and some explosions.
It says government reports 26 armed criminals have been liquidated. What does that mean? They have been liquidated. That means that them motherfuckers was shot dead. All right? Hey, it's going down.
Earlier today, when we drove past, we saw some dead bodies inside cars.
Oh my goodness, here we go. Dead bodies, baby. Coming to a street near you. Here we go.
Maybe these people tried to storm in and drive through the police cordon during the clashes, or maybe they were simply caught up during the standoff.
Well, I'm joined now by Kate Mallinson, an Associate Fellow of the Russia and Eurasia Programme at Chatham House in London. So this very tough stance by the government seems to have certainly, made the protesters rather wary, understandably. Where does it go from here, do you think?
Yes, unfortunately, the situation is stabilising to a degree, but it's going to be a very restive situation for the foreseeable future. And the protesters' demands require the government to sort of totally overhaul its political economy and kind of socio-economic conditions for the whole population. So this is not going to be an easy issue to address. But secondly, what's really important is we're actually seeing a change of leadership here with the Nazarbayev family, who have been at the helm of Kazakhstan for the last 30 years. They have left the country, and they played such an important role in the country in terms of controlling all the country's major assets. And we have to remember that Kazakhstan is an extremely...
You see that that's either it's a shopping center or it's a grocery store. All right? So what happens when the people can't eat? It has begun. And this is just the beginning. This is the tip of the iceberg and the beginning.
Rich country in terms of natural resources. It owns 40% of the world's...
Wait, where are the Negroes at? The looters. Isn't looters another name for Negroes? Not in Kazakhstan.
Uranium production and has all the minerals in the periodic table. And so without the family, taking out the family, there's going to be a huge sort of shake-up of the political economy.
Are the protesters backed at all by any outside forces, any outside nations?
It's really important to separate the homegrown grassroots protests that we see in the west of the country and other cities. And it's important to remember that Kazakhstan is the size of West.
Let's not forget that this is the exact same scene as it was a year ago in the United States. This right here, this is identical to what happened at the Capitol. All right? They stormed the Capitol, and it was smoke, and it was this exact thing. And my point is this: this is going on all over the world. You could downplay it. No, we stomped it out. You ain't stomped out shit. These motherfuckers are ready to launch another series of whatever the hell they did. They can get it right this time. Whatever they're gonna do. And I don't have a dog in the fight. I won't be fighting nobody. I'm sitting here, I'm narrating. I'm just the, the newsman. We're bringing out the news, all right? All right, somebody has to say, this is the same thing that happened a year ago in the United Snakes. All right, somebody got to put those things together and say, what time are we in? What manner of persons ought you to be in all holy conversation and godliness, looking for and hasting to the day of the coming of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, who's turning things up. All right, this is today. This isn't last year. So it hasn't stopped. It's gaining speed.
The country and other cities, and it's important to remember that Kazakhstan is the size of Western Europe. So what we're seeing in Almaty and what your correspondent has just been referring to is it has a very different nature. And I would say, I mean, there's a lot of propaganda, as in all these situations, truth is the first casualty. So we're seeing a lot of disinformation, and the president is using sort of hyperbole, talking about terrorism to justify a crackdown on the protesters. So you have peaceful protesters on one side, but then you also have some kind of criminal elements mixed into the picture who are being supported by elite figures who do not want to lose control in the country.
Elite figures have been supported, but just say George Soros' name. All right, it's total destabilization, which goes to a greater war. This is a proxy war down there, all right? And this is a color revolution, whatever you want to call it.
What is the position of China on all this?
Sorry, I didn't hear.
What's the position of China on all this?
I mean, China is looking warily from the east. It has a lot of investments in the energy sector in Kazakhstan. But it's made a kind of quite an anodyne statement about what is going on, and it's unlikely to do anything, but it will be sitting there very nervously.
Kate Mallinson, thank you very much indeed there from Chatham House.
Boy, those words were carefully chosen and guarded. Did you hear that? Go back and listen to that again. When they're asking her question, she went right around names and situations, and she made everything okay. And that's what she's paid to do right now, because this thing is about to escalate the hell out of control. Oh, boy. Okay, let me see. Let's get, where was I going? Let me just get this, and we'll go ahead and close it out. Let's get Matthew 24. All right? Because this ain't going nowhere. What do we see? Okay. What do we see here? Let's start here. All right. Matthew 24:6, and ye shall hear of wars. There's not a war over there. And rumors of wars. Okay. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Hey, we're just getting started with Jacob's trouble. For nation shall rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginnings of sorrows. Let's look at this. All right. You will hear of wars and rumors. What does this word rumors mean? Rumors of wars. Right here. You will hear of wars and threats of wars. Okay. It's rumors, threats. What else? Battles. Battles and reports. Okay, rumors, threats, reports. That's what this is. I'm reporting. I'm a reporter. Okay? Reports, threats, rumors. Right here. Good News Translation. You're going to hear the noise of battles close by, and the news. This is the news. It's a news report of battles, what? Far away in Kazakhstan. Far away from here. All right? But do not be troubled. Such things must happen, but they do not mean that the end has come. All right. Let's go back here. Let's go to 21. Oh. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. All right? So there we are. All right, so we hope that the elect were edified, and shalom.